I wanted to address briefly the situation, scenario, chapter of Boston last week. And I really don't want to spend any time talking about anything horrific because truthfully I didn't follow along very closely. I think it's a very dangerous thing to fall into the role of letting mainstream news dictate what is important information for us. The whole nature of terrorism is that it shifts people into thinking and having terror. The number of actual casualties from any one terrorist act is actually negligible compared to things like, suicide or car accidents or handgun deaths. So allowing mainstream media to whip us into a frenzy about in terror means that the media works in cahoots with bad people to create terrorism. I'm not saying you shouldn't be following along, or I'm not saying you shouldn't pay attention. I'm saying be aware of what's happening and being aware of where your attention is being taken. If you didn't have a TV or the internet, you might have enjoyed a few days and never known that the world was a horrible place. And guess what? You'd be right. So that being said, I didn't follow along with any manhunts or anything like that, but I did notice a trend in a lot of people talking during this hunt that scared the hell out of me. It was, I saw something, someone wrote this today, and they said, where is it? They said, let me get this right. We saved a terrorist's life so we can press charges just for the possibility that me get the death penalty. Did I miss something? And, I couldn't help it. I typed in, I'm like, innocent until proven guilty? This person is a suspect. Like, has anybody seen the show The Wire? It's fiction, but it's based on true experiences, and there was a lot of things in that stuck with me, but one of the things was the pressure put on police when there is a very public crime. Like, you need to find somebody. You need to put someone in jail quickly, because otherwise people panic and freak out, and people scream to their congressman, and the voices go, the pressure just gets down the line until the police chief has got to do something. And so when there is a suspect to a major crime, that's great. But we still, even no matter how bad the crime is, we need to stick with the system that protects the innocent and protects innocent people from being manipulated and abused by a corrupt system. I think there's no secret that our system has the potential to be abused. So all of the checks and balances that protect people, even Miranda rights that sometimes let guilty people go for free, the system is built in a way that it's better for a guilty person to go free than an innocent person to be put in jail. And that happens all the time. So when we have this high stakes, high emotion stuff going on, and suspects are killed during the hunt, and people seem fine with that. I understand in situations where police officers are put in danger and there's shootouts, and I understand you shoot back and you can kill a suspect. I get it, but there was a lot of voices that I was seeing in tweets and posts that seemed to be very okay with killing the suspects before a trial as part of the catching them. You know, like wanted dead or alive. Like, that's not okay. That's how we give permission to corrupt systems to just, I mean, let's just say sometime in the future there's some person who is saying stuff that is controversial and is seen to be a huge affront to the existing power structure. Label them a terrorist and shoot them is it's like a get out of jail free card for a corrupt leader or a corrupt police chief or whatever. I'm not saying anybody is corrupt. I'm not even saying that anyone is innocent. I'm saying that the system demands that they are innocent until proven guilty. And if you put anyone in jail and say they don't deserve a traditional trial because they're a terrorist, anything that especially if you kill them, then we have lost the righteousness that allows us to label someone else a terrorist and us the protectors. Does that make sense? You cannot act in a way of a barbaric way, let go of all of the things that made us a culture society of admiration, and then claim to be any different. I know it's when the emotions are high, it's the hardest to look at these things. It's kind of like you got to protect Larry Flint, and you got to protect the KKK, because those are the freedom of speech that you don't want to give them. So you have to protect those to make sure that the system isn't abused to muzzle anyone else. All right, I guess that's all I wanted to say on that. And I am not a believer. It seems to be pretty clear now that anytime there is a major disaster, there very quickly will be an article and videos and photoshopped or not photoshopped photographs that will explain why this is a sham and this has all been made up by some crazy power elite, which shows a lot of faith in the power elite. But at the same time, I'm at a point in my life where I think that there is the world that I experience, and then there is these degrees of stories that I'm told. And anything that I experience, I can trust mostly. I know that my memory and my vision and all of these things are incredibly flawed. And so I have to take all that I experience with a little bit of grain of salt. And then anything that is told to me, any conclusion that is made by anyone else, I need to listen to it, understand that they have the same systemic and sensory challenges that I do, plus any sort of filter in terms of bias, multiplied by where they got their information, multiplied by, so it's like, anytime I have been involved with an article that's in the newspaper, I've noticed there's been some mistake. Maybe a name misspelling, a timing, or a misquote. And if you are someone that has ever been in the paper, was everything accurate? That's been my experience. Belicious recently had that experience where she was like, if the only times I know exactly what happened is a little wrong in press, how much faith can you have in all press? And to say that you see it in a video, or you see it in a picture, or you see someone passionately saying it, that doesn't mean it's true or factual. It means that somebody believes it to be true, or worse, somebody wants you to believe it's true. Again, not saying there's conspiracy theories or anything is true. I'm just saying that, what was it, Ronald Reagan quote I just saw, trust but verify. Maybe that's the answer. In the meantime, innocent proven guilty. we need to hold ourselves to a high standard of righteousness so that justice is served and not just punishment.